Monday Night Football, NBA action, and a ladder leg? That's all coming up on the free three for you guys today. It's Monday, November 27, 2023, and I've got three best bets for you. Let's go. What's up, guys? It's your boy Noble Living back with another DYF Bets video where I'm breaking down my favorite picks and plays of the day as you just try to get to the bag together and make some money. Listen, baby, fly Eagles fly. It's Victory Monday, man. I'm rocking my shirt. I'm rocking my hat. We went absolutely crazy this weekend on the Discord group, but also shout out to my Eagles for getting it done and just won an amazing game, one of the best games of the season. But listen, we can't rest on yesterday's wins. We got to keep coming back today. And our last video that we dropped on the channel on Friday, we did go 1-2 on the day. We cashed on Raheem Mostert rushing yards, no sweat bet there. But we did lose on some bonus rebounds as we lost on the hook. And then on the ladder leg, which I'm going to break down a little bit more in detail, it's either didn't play for you because Kevin Durant didn't play on that second leg. So some bets got completely nullified, or Aaron Gordon just laid a big-ass goose egg. So I'm going to count the bet as a loss on the ladder leg. But if you guys have been tapped into the channel, then you guys know that I've been doing this with Surgical Stream. They did not have a stream on Friday, so I nullified the leg, but also Kevin Durant didn't play, so I also nullified the leg. But I'll count the leg officially for the channel, but I will say that we will have another ladder leg, and we're going to continue the ladder challenge today, day 7 today, because technically the bet got nullified with Kevin Durant not playing, being a late time scratch, and then also no Surgical Stream for me to pitch it on there. I'll get into that in a little bit. But 1-2 on the day on Friday. Year-to-date record right here. Absolutely crushing it in the month of November. Still on fire in the NBA. Still on fire in the NFL. We went absolutely crazy yesterday, man. So if you guys can drop a like and subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciate it. As my goal is to put out more basketball winners, football winners, plays for you every single day out here on the channel. I greatly appreciate the support. Let's dive into these first best bets. For my first best bet of the day, I'm going to go to that Vikings and Bears Monday Night Football matchup. And we see the Vikings open up here as 3.5-point favorites. The number is down to 3 as I see a lot of money coming in on the Bears. Rightfully so. I mean, the Bears look good, with especially their defense. They're trying to turn some things around there. And then Justin Fields is back for that offense. So, you know, that adds a whole new element to them with the run game and also his ability to pass. But we're also seeing a lot of money coming on the under as well. Not a shocker, right? Considering how much money primetime unders have actually been cashing this year. We saw that yesterday in the Sunday Night Football game, another primetime under cash. But guess what? I'm gonna go against the public in this one, and I'm gonna go with my trusted points teasers. They've been nothing but cash money for us this year. If you were inside of our Discord group, which you should be, I mean, it's free to join. Click the link in the bio. We cashed in on 2 teasers yesterday inside the group. We hit an under teaser in the early game between the Bucks and the Colts, and then also the Steelers and the Bengals. No sweat there. And then we also cashed in on a late afternoon teasers when we took the Rams plus 3.5 and Vegas plus 15.5. You see what the points can do for you on those teasers? So that's what we're going to do and run it back today. We're going to take the teaser 6.5 points. Vikings plus 3.5 and over 37.5 minus 130 odds. Now, I will say this, right? You got to get the points for the insurance. I do think the Vikings win this game outright, but you want to get that 6.5 number to get over the field goal push, right? You want to make sure you're not pushing on that field goal on that plus 3.5. But I do like the way that this Vikings teams look, and I think Josh Dobbs is the answer. Now, can he like win them a Super Bowl? Probably not. But can he keep them competitive enough to actually make the playoffs and maybe be competitive in the playoffs? I think so. And even if Justin Jefferson doesn't play today, he's a game time decision. He's crushable. I don't think he's going to play. I still like the Vikings in this matchup. And today's card for me is all about the trends. The Vikings, they've covered the spread in 6 straight games in 7 of their last 8. So I love that. I mean, the 3.5 points, I would tease it down to 2.5, but I would take that as an individual play. Meanwhile, the Bears are 3-3 against the spread on the road. Vikings are 2-0 against the division and 6-1-1 against the NFC against the number. So everything that's telling us to take the Vikings on the number here, and I like the fact that they're at home. Now, again, I know there's a lot of sharp money on the Bears, but I do think that this is a game where the Bears are going to have a few issues, right? They've looked better with Justin Fields back. That offense looked good, but guess what? They still blew that big lead against Detroit. That is like the difference between a really good team, a playoff bound team, and a team that's still trying to figure out. They lost that game 31-26. Now, because Justin Fields is back, that's why I'm leaning towards the over instead of the primetime under. I know a lot of people like the primetime under. I'm not opposed to you teasing this number up and then playing the under. I think it's easier if we take the points down and we tease it up to the over. Why? Because of the fact that Justin Fields uses his legs so much, and that's such a dynamic that you can't really handicap for. But also when you look at the fact that Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the Vikings, he's the number one coordinator, the number one team in the league that blitz the most. The Vikings blitz on 49% of the time. So you know what that means? That Justin Fields is going to see that blitz and he's going to take off and use his legs. But he's also been effective against the blitz this year in the air as well. He's completing 58.8% of his passes against the blitz. That's a 7.3 yards per attempt rate with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. So the blitz has not affected him as much as people would think. And the fact that Justin Fields is able to use his legs is why the over has been such a great play for him. In the last 15 starts for Justin Fields, the overs hit 12 of the 15 times. That's an 80% hit rate to the over. And both of the games that Josh Dobbs has played in the dome since he's become the starter for the Vikings, he played one against the Falcons and he played against home against the Saints. Guess what? Both of those games went over. The Bears are also 4-2 on the over on the year. So I'm just going with trends right here. Vikings have been covering against the spread, but I'm just going to get a few points insurance there and just flip it to a field goal. So take the Vikings plus 3.5 on the teaser, and then we're going to go with the over because all the numbers have said to take the over 37.5. I do like the Vikings minus 2.5 as an individual play, and then I do like the over as an individual play. But like I said, I think the insurance on the teasers have been magical for us this year. Let's keep that momentum going. It's not broke. Let's not fix it. Let's go with that as our first best bet of the day. Now, for our second best bet of the day, we're going to go to the NBA hardwood, and I was going to give you the over in the Pacers game. I'm not going to lie to you. The Pacers and Blazers, you know what the Pacers are doing. 14-1 to the over this year. 90% hit rate. But I'm not going to give that out as an official play because the Blazers are the worst team in the league in scoring. I think that could have a factor today. I don't know, but I think it could have a factor. So because of that, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go with a player prop. I'm going to go Brandon Ingram over 35.5 points, rebounds, and assists, minus 115 odds. Now, you guys know I hate PRA lines. I think there's just way too many things that you have to have go right for your way to win. But I do think that it has advantage when you're the main guy. Yesterday, I put out a bet in my Discord group when I took a 2-teamer and I took Jokic and I teased down his rebounds and I paired it with like Wemby's rebounds. Wemby cashed in, but Jokic fell short. But if you had taken his PRAs, you would have cashed in pretty easily because the dude had an absolute monster of a stat line. So because of that, I think that's a similar angle today that we see Brandon Ingram is going to have the ability to have a monster of a stat line because he's like the only guy right now for the Pelicans. I don't know if Zion's playing. He didn't play in his last matchup, but he might play today. And then we know CJ McCollum's also out with the injury. The Pelicans are taking on the Jazz in this West Coast matchup, and these two teams just faced off on Saturday. So you guys know I'm not the biggest fan of taking like back-to-back home and home splits, but because of the fact that they had a day of rest in between those two games, I do like this one a little bit better, and I'm going to take the risk on it. On the year, Brandon Ingram is averaging 25 points per game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. So he's averaging right at that number. But over the last 5 games, we've seen his scoring go up to about 28 points per game, while the rebounds and assists have remained pretty steady. That's what I like to see. So for me, there's no doubt that he should be able to get over this 35.5 PRA line. And on Saturday, he had 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. So he got over this total pretty easily there. And like I said, he's the main guy for the Pelicans right now, finding his rhythm. He's finding his groove as the leader of that Pelicans team. Not only is he leading them in scoring, but he's gone over this PRA line in 4 of the last 5 games and 6 of the 11 games with McCollum out. I love to see that. And Utah also gives us a ton of points, so he can even get 30 points on a loan on this one. I do like his points line at 25.5 if you want to take that individually, but he can go over this just on his points alone. Utah is in the bottom 5 in the league in points per game allowed. And then also keep in mind that there's a lot of injury news as well in this one. Utah might be without Jordan Clarkson again, who missed the last game because of an illness, and Lauri Markkanen is out right now with a hamstring injury, so he might not play either. So if this Utah Jazz team is really depleted, then guess what? It gives a lot of opportunity for Ingram to feast. And I also like the fact that Pelicans are not 100% themselves, which means that we don't have to necessarily worry about a huge blowout. Hopefully, it's the NBA. You can never predict that stuff, right? But let's just hope we don't get a big blowout. We get a lot of minutes from Ingram today. If he's on the floor, we know he's going to get the shot attempts, and then hopefully he'll be able to get the volume and the rebounds today. Let's go with Brandon Ingram over 35.5 PRAs as our second best bet. For our third and final best bet of the day, I'm going to go with the latter leg here. like I mentioned in the beginning, we're running it back with the ladder. We're continuing the trend because my book refunded me my money when KD was counted out. Now, I don't know if your book did it. Some books keep it alive, some books don't. I always advise that when you're doing these 2-3 leg player prop parlays, and if one person's out, I always try to advise you to either just void the bet entirely and just replace that player, or you can let it last, but sometimes you're not going to get as good of odds, and now all of a sudden you're like laying a minus 250 for just one play, which is never good either, right? So we're going to run it back today, like I said, because there was no Surgical Stream, so make sure you guys hop into Surgical Stream on Twitch at around 2:30 to hear me pitch this play some more. But we're going to go with Justin Fields, 8+ carries, LeBron James, 6 assists, plus 114 odds for day 7 of our ladder challenge. So we're betting $660 here to win like $1,400, something like that, right? Now let's look at these, right? Let's look at Justin Fields first. Justin Fields getting these carries should not be a problem today. He's gone over this total in 5 of 7 games this year, and he's absolutely running the ball well. We saw him rush the ball 18 times last week against the Lions. That's absolutely crazy. 18 times for a quarterback to run it, and I think that he's going to run the ball again today. Like I mentioned earlier, the Vikings blitz #1 in the league 49% of the time. So because of that, that pressure is going to come through the gaps, which is going to force Fields out of the pocket. We know that he can run, but can he really throw on the run? That's not really what he looks to do that much. So because of that, I think we'll be able to get a few 1-yarders, 2-yarders, read options, RPOs, right? These are all things that Justin Fields can do. I really like the fact that he's gone over this total so consistently this year. When these teams faced off back on October 15th, remember Justin Fields left that game with an injury, but guess what? Before he left that game, he had 8 carries for 46 yards, and he only played about half or 3/4 of the game. So imagine if he had a full game to go with. So because of that, I really like the fact that Justin Fields is going to get blitzed today. He should be able to run on that turf field, which is always a benefit for those scrambling quarterbacks. So because of that, Justin Fields 8 carries, which shouldn't be too much to ask. Now LeBron on the other side, we need 6 assists from my guy. 6.6 assists per game is he averaging on the year. That number's actually gone up over the last 5 games. He's averaging 7.8 assists over the last 5 games. Philly's in the bottom 10 in assists per game given up. And then when you look at the numbers against Philly in LeBron's career, he's averaging 8 assists per game against Philly in his career. And the last time that he did not get 6 assists against them was in December of 2015. That's right. We have to go back like 7 years to count the last time that he did that against this Philly team. So there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to do that today. And if you cannot do a cross-sport parlay, go with Josh Dobbs' pass attempts and parlay that with Justin Fields carries. If you want to parlay all 3, that gets you the plus 220 odds there. So that's a little bonus play for you guys if you want that as well. All right, my friends, that's it for me today. 3 best bets, 3 winners that are coming your way on this Monday night. We're going with the teaser in the Monday Night Football matchup. Vikings plus 3.5 and the over 37.5. We're going with Brandon Ingram over 35.5 PRA. And then we're going to continue our ladder challenge climb with the Book It Sports crew. We're going Justin Fields 8 carries, LeBron James 6 assists, plus 114 odds. All right, my friends, as always, dictate your fate. Get to that bag. I'll see you guys inside the Discord group with more picks and plays later. And as always, let's get to that cheddar. I'll see y'all in the next video. Later, guys.